This is my review of the third episode of Daredevil Born Again, the first season. Now, in the beginning of this episode, we see Matt Murdock talking to his client, the guy who was actually White Tiger, about the trial that's about to come up. And then we go and see Kingpin talking to his wife talking to him about some business and how she could make a lot of money or something. And he says he wants to keep everything clean, he wants to be legitimate and all. And after he says that, we go and see he washes his hands, and apparently his hands are bloodied a bit. Now I think it's because he was hitting someone or hitting something, so not sure how legit that is, but yeah. And then we see one of his men go and talk to the gangs about those gangs fighting each other and telling them to stand in line and try to control them. So there's that. Now this episode mainly focuses on the trial. Now in the beginning of the previous episode, we saw that a guy was arrested for throwing a cop in front of a train, but that's not what actually happened, as we saw. But anyway, he's on trial for that, and we see the trial take place, and we see that apparently Matt Murdock's finally trying to get the witness, the guy who White Tiger was trying to save during that fight at the train station, the subway station, and they bring him. They managed to bring him in. Before that, the other cop actually tries to stop them from bringing him in, and stops tries to catch them. But they see this beforehand and somehow manage to sneak him through and get him into the courthouse. And basically, he's on stand, and Matt Murdock asks him whether he was there during the trial. During that incident. And he says he wasn't, which seriously messes up Matt Murdock's case, because him being the witness to what happened was key to the White Tiger going free. But unfortunately, that doesn't happen, and because of that, the witness becomes useless, and Matt Murdock is trying to find a way to save his client, but doesn't know how to. So on the next day of the case, he decides to just go ahead and reveal his client's identity as White Tiger, which is a bit weird considering the fact that in the previous episode, when he found out his client was White Tiger, he asked the judge and the opposition to keep it a secret to protect him and his family, because some people might come after him if they knew he's White Tiger. But he just decides to tell everyone that he's his client's White Tiger, and basically putting everyone in danger. But that's strange. Now I understand why he did this, because from the looks of it, his client might have gone to jail, so this was the last resort, I guess. But anyway, that's what happens. And then because of that, a bunch of new witnesses show up, the people who White Tiger had helped save in the past. They testify on his behalf about how he did all these great things. And the case looks like it's going to go in White Tiger's favor at that moment. Now the opposition tries to say that yes, White Tiger saved a lot of people, but that doesn't excuse the fact that he actually did something wrong, and even people who did good can do something wrong. And it's interesting, I guess. But I think that at that point, the case was in favor of White Tiger, because it helped a lot of people, according to the witnesses. So then after this, the verdict comes out, and White Tiger is found innocent by the jury on all counts, and he goes free, which is a huge win for Matt Murdock, even though this does put him in danger, and him staying there is probably really risky. Now, I personally thought as soon as that he was found innocent, that he probably had to move away with his entire family and leave the city because he was going to be in danger. And as it turns out, I was right, because after that we see the new mayor, Kingpin, seeing this on the news that he goes free, and we already know at the beginning of the series that he's really against vigilantes or superheroes fighting crime. And then Kingpin calls a reporter and says that vigilantes shouldn't be doing what they're doing, and the justice system had failed them, even though they found them innocent, that they were wrong. And that he needs to keep his promise to the city. Now, as he's saying this, we see a shot of White Tiger suiting up and going outside. And as he was walking, a guy just comes up to him and shoots him and basically kills him. So, in the end of the episode, White Tiger dies. And honestly, I think we could have saw this coming. This was bound to happen after his identity was revealed. He should have left the city. I think Matt Murdock should have advised him to leave the city immediately with his family. But yeah, he stayed. He kept being White Tiger. Now, I think Matt Murdock, after he revealed his identity, I think he told him that he should stop being White Tiger. I don't really remember exactly. I think he said something like that. I'm not sure. But anyway, he dies at the end of the end of the episode. And basically, Matt Murdock fighting for his innocence and him being freed all ends up being a waste. Now, I'm assuming that Matt Murdock will hear about this in the next episode and deal with the aftermath. So we'll have to wait and see about that. And, oh yeah, the guy who shoots him has a white skull-like t-shirt on him. Now, earlier in the episode, we also see a police officer with the same skull. Now, I'm not sure if this is Punisher or not. I think Punisher has that kind of a logo. Not sure. But we'll have to wait and see about that. But anyway, that's how the episode ends.